Nous avons bien visité Chartres. Nous avons visité la vieille ville, quelques boutiques et la cathédrale. Ça vous a plu, Margot?
Oui, ça m'a beaucoup plu. J'avais souvent entendu parler de la beauté de Chartres et surtout de la cathédrale.
Oh, voilà quelque chose d'intéressant. Autrefois, les femmes du village lavaient leur linge dans cette rivière.
C'est la cathédrale que nous voyons là-haut.
Oui, elle domine toute la ville. Si je me souviens bien, nous y sommes arrivés par cette petite rue pittoresque. Vous en souvenez-vous?
C'est étonnant comme cette petite rue me rappelle une mélodie. Ti-la la li la la, ti-la la 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 la. Le diable prend la Bourgogne. Je m'en souviens. C'était dans un vieux film. Si j'étais roi. Vous en souvenez-vous?
Je me souviens du titre, mais peu des détails.
Si je m'en souviens bien, il y avait un jeune brigand à la tête de ses camarades. Et il marchait dans une petite rue comme celle-ci.
Ah oui, l'histoire de François Villon. Et c'est bien ici un endroit pour un Villon. Regardez ces vieilles maisons de pierre.
Qui était Villon exactement?
Un des plus grands poètes de la France. Malheureusement, il ne menait pas toujours une vie exemplaire, mais c'était un grand poète.
But sweet. So that was chapter 72 of EB's French foreign language series, of which we have several versions or several chapters, and yeah. So the deal is you'd watch that, maybe watch it a couple of times, then you would practice it, etc. Anyways, I'm Skip Alsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films and comment on them, because hindsight is 20/20, and of course we know better now. That's what's so great, is watching these films and then realizing, like, wow, we totally forgot that. We totally have rolled back, however, our stance on X, and so oops. But here's I got a film set up on the Telecine, which is our machine that we use to transfer films, and this one is on place values. Hopefully we will never change our views on place values. Enjoy.
This is Joe's Bakery. This is Joe, the owner. And this is Henry, his helper. The person Joe is talking to wants to buy 326 chocolate chip cookies, and he wants them in 1 hour. So now Joe needs to make and count a lot of cookies fast. There are many ways he could keep track of how many he's counted. Here's a way that isn't so good. What if Joe made a lot of cookies and put down 1 mark for each one? That would work for a few cookies, but how would it work for a lot? He'd have a mess on his hands. How would he know when he got to 326? Is that 326? Is that? Who knows? That's not the best way to find out how many things are in a group. Let's look at a better method. We'll use numerals to count cookies, but we'll use them in a special way. Joe is putting in the ingredients, and Henry will help push buttons so their machine can make the cookies they need. The cookies will end up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cookies so far. We call this the ones place because we are counting things one by one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cookies. We write 10 this way. This time, the 1 goes here. If we put the 1 here, that would mean there is only 1 cookie. Instead, we put the 1 here, in what we call the tens place. And we put a 0 here, in the ones place, to let us know that we have 10 cookies and not just 1 cookie. This 1 in the tens place means we have 1 group or set of 10 cookies. And the 0 shows that there are 0 cookies left over. So 1 can stand for 1 thing or 1 group of things. 1 slice of bread or 1 loaf of bread. 1 egg or 1 carton of eggs. 1 ant or 1 army of ants. One cookie or 1 group of 10 cookies. If we were counting other things, this 1 could mean 1 set of 10 planes, or 1 set of 10 toes, or 1 set of 10 fingers. Let's see how many cookies we have now. 1, 2. 2 sets of 10 cookies. So we put a 2 in the tens place. How many sets of 10 are here? 1, 2, 3. Joe has 3 sets of 10 cookies. Now how many sets of 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sets of 10 cookies. We write that numeral like this. 5 in the tens place because there are 5 sets of 10 cookies. And a 0 in the ones place because there are 0 cookies left over. Joe and Henry still have a lot of cookies to make to fill their order. These are the cookies Joe has so far. And here come some more. Now let's write the numeral that tells how many cookies Joe has. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 10. So we put a 5 here in the tens place. And since there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single cookies left over, we put a 7 here in the ones place. 5 tens and 7 ones. 57 cookies. And here are some more. 8, 9, 10. That's another set of 10. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of 10 cookies. And 1, 2, 3, 4 single cookies, or 64 cookies in all. 7 sets, or 70, 8 sets, or 80, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now there are 8 sets of 10 cookies and 5 single cookies. 85. 8 tens, 5 ones. 9 tens, 90. And another set of 10. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows of 10, or 1 group of 100 cookies. Let's see why we write 100 like this. So far we have used only 2 places, the ones place and the tens place. To write 100, we use another place. The 1 goes here, in the hundreds place. Now the 1 does not stand for 1 cookie, or for 1 set of 10 cookies. The 1 stands for 1 set of 100 cookies. The 0 in the 1's place shows that there are 0 1s left over. The 0 in the 10's place shows that there are 0 10s left over. The 1 in the hundreds place shows that there is 1 set of 100 cookies. Now let's look at some other sets of 100 things just for some practice. Here is 1 set of 100 cats. Here is 1 set of 100 birds. And here is 1 set of 100 bugs. Now the machine is making a lot more cookies. Here's another tray of 100 cookies. Now we have 100 cookies here, and 100 here, or 200 cookies. How do we write that numeral? 2 hundreds, 0 10s, 0 1s. 200 cookies so far. But the order is for 326 cookies. Almost there. Here are 2 more trays of cookies. Let's see how many cookies there are altogether. One of the new trays has 100 cookies. So now there are 1, 2, 3 sets of 100 cookies. And the other new tray has 2 sets of 10 cookies and 6 single cookies. That makes 326 chocolate chip cookies. So now Joe has enough to fill his order. When you write numerals, remember, a numeral in the 1's place tells you how many single things you're counting. A numeral in the 10's place tells you how many sets of 10 you're counting. A numeral in the hundreds place tells you how many sets of 100 you're counting. Learning to use these places makes it easy to count and write numerals. Now the cookies are packed, and finally they can be delivered to the person who ordered them.
So, here, I'll show you this. So I have this, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of cable stretched behind some stuff. So this is the little controller that I have that controls the telecine. So I have the ability to adjust color, light, speed, and some other aspects of it. So, yeah. I think they called it the commander. That's what it was. I had to pay extra for it versus using the knobs here. But anyways, oh yeah, this is awesome. Look at this. So this sometimes appears at the head or tail of a film, and this is used for color calibration. You know, a lot of times there's a picture of a girl, and we call it a leader lady or a China girl, China doll. It has lots of different names. So anyways, that's for the lab to check the color on the print. It's useful for us because we can often color correct based on information like that. All right. So I've been going through a bunch of the films that we've been scanning from our collection and rendering them out so that we can broadcast them. And this is one that I just found on a drive that it's called Courtesy. Who, me? Enjoy.
trying, Calvin. You can make lots more noise if you really try.
Funny Celia.
Whose turn is it to take out the trash?
Calvin's. I did it yesterday.
Okay.
Calvin!
Hey, I think I hear the bus.
The trash is right by the door. Calvin.
Haven't got time, Mom. Hi, Rafe. What you got?
Pretty neat, huh?
Hi, Rafe. What you got?
I just got it put together last night.
Wow. Hi, Louisa. Calvin, you cut that out. I thought you liked airplanes. Calvin, that is not nice. Hey, where'd you get the red paint? I didn't see any. It's there. Hey, everybody's supposed to have their own. You don't want to be selfish, do you? Well, you might ask first. Oh, Calvin, you used it all up. That's okay. I don't need any more. Now look what you did. That's not very nice.
Calvin, you are not very courteous.
Who? Me? Hi, Ray. Thanks for saving me a place.
Come on, Calvin, no cutting in. Yeah, get on back there.
Honest, Rafe was saving me a place. Weren't you, Rafe?
Yeah, come on, we're almost in. Forgot to get a straw.
Here. I don't need mine.
Thanks. What's the matter? Peanut butter and jelly?
Peanut butter. No jelly.
You know me, man. I'll eat it. Want an orange?
Nah, I don't think so. That wasn't very nice!
That was good, Peter. Who else would like to read their story? Betty, we haven't heard from you in a long time.
My story is about this little pig. Here he is, and this is his mom. My story is called Muddy. One day, Muddy's mom called him to come to dinner. Muddy was very dirty. His mother was cross, and she said you wash your feet and your face or you can...
Calvin! Sorry, Betty. Just a minute. Calvin, how would you feel if someone did that to you?
What's the matter? Can't you see straight?
Pitch it in there.
Come on, Ernie, hit it.
Oh!
What's the matter? Afraid to pitch a straight one to him? Kick the ball, kick the ball. Oh, Ernie, what a clunk. That's 3 outs and I was up next.
Okay, kids, that's enough kickball. Let's get a couple of captains here and choose up for a dodgeball game.
Me, Mr. Schaefer. Can I? Hey, Mr. Schaefer, me. I'm the best dodgeball player.
Hold on, let's see. How about Kim and Churro? Kim first.
I choose Louisa. Oh, no. Okay, Rafe. What about me? Fred, why do you want Fatso? He can't dodge anything. Ernie, he's blind. He can't even see the ball coming. Jenny, you're kidding. Diane. Jim. Betty. Gail. Okay, Calvin. Guess you're on my team. Come on. Aren't you coming over to play? Nah. Oh, come on. You always come over. Nah, I don't want to.
Dinner's all ready.
Just a sec. Let's eat. This is delicious, Mom.
Why, thank you, dear.
Have a roll? Well, yeah. Mom?
Thank you.
Would you pass the milk, please? Thank you.
What did you say?
Thank you.
Well, that was nightmare fodder. Visually, I think it's the eyes. The eyes were like little mouths. Ugh. And you know, if they had not, I'm sorry, I'm kind of mid eating an apple. That kind of ended quickly on me. If they had not like done a hard line here, if they had kept it consistent and then just moved this below, I don't think it would have been as jarringly weird. I don't know. But the soundtrack, somebody pointed out in the comments, that synth soundtrack was pretty awesome. Big fan. Okay, I have another film on the telecine behind me, and you can see in the monitor right there, it's an Alfred Higgins production. I'm just going to continue chewing real quick. Sorry. I know that's gross. Anyhow, one of the things I just noticed is a feature in OBS reset itself. So the things that I was sending via the telecine were lower resolution, like blocky. And so I just tweaked that. I think I fixed it. So let's see what happens. So anyways, this is Poisons All Around Us. Enjoy.
Poison Information Center, Miss Herman. You have a teenage boy who siphoned gasoline. Do you have any idea how much he got?
Approximately 500,000 people a year are victims of accidental poisoning. While most are children under 5 years of age, statistics show that all ages are casualties of this tragedy.
Rooms where they have an adult male who's eaten some mushrooms. Fine. Would you please?
Because accidental poisonings are common, there are almost 600 poison control centers across the country.
And it might be quicker.
These centers have been designed to have the latest information on poisonous substances and the recommended treatment.
It will develop within 2 to 24 hours. So you want to get a chest x-ray within...
In the past 20 years, so many new chemicals and household products have been developed that it's impossible for physicians to know all of those which are poisonous, and if so, how poisonous, and what to do.
Check the chest frequently. Do not make him vomit.
The National Clearinghouse for Poison Control Centers constantly furnishes new information to the centers. This file contains information on over 20,000 items. One of the most active centers is located in the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, California, the Thomas J. Fleming Memorial Center.
Over 80% of these accidents occur in the home with simple household products that we don't even think of as being poisonous, such as matches, colognes, ink, even vitamins and aspirin. But in the hands of a small child, or if taken accidentally by an adult, they can be harmful, even deadly.
When camping, it's natural to cut off a branch to hold a hot dog. But this branch is oleander. It could poison the meat and you. Over 5,000 cases of eating poisonous plants are reported each year. Many involve children, but not always. Would you ever think that the sprouts of the ordinary potato are poisonous, just as are these beautiful rhododendron? Indians once ate the leaves to commit suicide. Most people know that wild mushrooms can be deadly, but a child chewing on that lovely Dieffenbachia would be in real trouble. These pretty beads are made from castor beans. A child chewing on them could die. Because there are so many poisonous plants, and unless you know for sure, the rule is, if it isn't grown to be eaten, don't. The fact is, poisons are all around us, and the possibility for accidental poisoning is always present. Consider the case of someone who can't sleep because of a cough and is careless. A serious mistake. The rule, never take medicine in the dark. Many people store poisonous items right beside foodstuffs. The results can be deadly. Then there's the handyman who keeps his paint thinner in an old soft drink bottle. The rule about storing poisonous items is obvious. Also dangerous are containers without labels, or the accumulation of outdated medicines and prescriptions long after the user remembers what they were for. One of the most common problems is the inquisitive child, who, strangely enough, is usually under the care of a parent at the time of the accident. What makes it easy for children to drink poisons is that sometimes they can't tell the difference in the taste of things. So another good rule, don't forget about children and poison. In case of poisoning, there are life-saving steps you can take. The first important rule to remember is to keep calm. In almost all cases, you do have time to help. Give the victim milk or water to dilute the poison in the stomach. In the case of a small child, don't at first give more than half a cup of liquid. With adults, give a full cup. Next, call the nearest hospital or your family doctor for further instructions. This is important. Do not decide for yourself what to do next. It could mean the victim's life. Have the poison container handy so you can answer any questions.
I think my little sister just swallowed some Lysol.
There are a number of different types of Lysol. Exactly what kind is it?
It's Lysol brand disinfectant.
Okay. Keep calm and keep your little sister still. Have you given her any milk or water? Good. I'll have to call the poison center on that type of Lysol. So give me your phone number, and I'll get right back to you.
Poison Information Center, Miss Weinlaw. Oh, yes, Doctor. You have a 4-year-old girl that got into Lysol. Fine. Has she been given any milk? In this particular Lysol, you have 7% phenols, and that can produce some burns. So she should get the milk, fine, and then have her come on in and check her mouth and throat for any corrosive burns.
Fine. Thank you.
Hello? Dr. Ryan?
I take it your parents aren't at home. Okay. I'll call an ambulance and send them right over.
When you get instructions, follow them carefully. This applies to any chemical, medical, plant, or venom poisoning. A very important rule. Do not automatically make the victim vomit unless a doctor tells you to. With many poisons you do, but not all. Some caustic products may harm the victim even more if vomiting is caused, because then they pass through the throat twice. It's also important to know what to do if acids, corrosives, or poisons spill on the skin. Flush the area at least 5 minutes. If you have to take off clothes, wait until after you have the area of contact under water, even if you must get in the shower. Then call a doctor or emergency hospital and ask what to do. If something should splash in your eye, the rule is do not rub it or blink. Keep it open and flush it for 10 to 15 minutes with clean water. But don't do this if something pierces the eye. In either case, call for medical advice. Because poisons are all around us, the best medicine against accidental poisoning, of course, is prevention. Keep them in their proper place. Keep them labeled. Be extra careful if there are children around. Buy products with safety caps. And never tell children that medicine is candy, or take medicine in front of them. They may try to imitate you.
The threat of accidental poisoning is always present. What most people don't realize is how easy and how quickly the tragedy can occur to people of all ages. By taking simple precautions and knowing what to do, we will save hundreds of lives each year.
So remember that poisons are all around us. Enjoy growing things, but know that many may be poisonous. Then ask yourself the question, is my home poison-proof? It may not be.
That was great. Glorious. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got on the docket? Let's learn about the principles of electricity, thanks to General Electric.
Electricity is one of our most faithful servants. It gives us light. It starts our cars. Has unlimited uses in aviation. Circles the globe with entertainment. It cooks and refrigerates our food. These represent but a few of the innumerable applications of electricity. Electricity at work. But what is electricity, and where does it come from? To answer these questions, let's look in on the world of electrons. The entire universe is composed of matter. A basic concept of the structure of matter is essential for the understanding of electricity, because the very force that holds matter together has an electrical nature. There are many different substances, each a combination of some of the 92 known chemical elements. Just as yeast, flour, salt, sugar, and shortening are the ingredients used in making bread, so are the 92 elements the ingredients of all matter. And if one of these elements is reduced to its purest, final form, its smallest unit would be an atom. No one has ever seen inside an atom. However, we think of it as a system of electrons circling around a heavy nucleus at almost inconceivable speeds. In order to explain the principles with which we are concerned in this story, let's assume that we can stop the action within the atom. And further, let's acknowledge that this is a symbol representing the atom and not an attempt to show it as it actually is. It is impossible to show the correct relative proportions of an atom on this screen. For example, if an atom could be as large as the United States, one of its electrons would be only about 100 feet across. Therefore, to tell our story, we must resort to a symbol. Then we can think of the atom as being a group of relatively light, small particles arranged around a heavy nucleus. These are particles of electric energy. The lighter ones, the electrons, are negative electric charges. And the heavier one, the nucleus, carries positive charges. Normally, a state of balance is maintained within the atom by a positive charge in the nucleus equal to the total negative charge of the electrons. And when the atom contains its normal number of electrons, it is said to be in electrical balance, to be in a neutral electrical condition. It is possible, however, to disturb this normal balance, whereupon the unbalanced atom assumes an electric charge. Too many electrons will produce a negative charge. Too few will throw the balance onto the positive side. In order to visualize better the effect of this, let's introduce a color code in which the positive charge, or an absence of electrons, is represented with red, and the negative charge, a predominance of electrons, with blue. Then an object that is in electrical balance will be purple, an equal part of each of the positive and negative charges. We have been concerned so far with the electrons within individual atoms. Now let's see what happens when two or more neutral atoms come together. The outside electrons will no longer move exclusively within their original atoms, but will circulate about both atoms at once. And if we bring many such atoms close together, as in a piece of metal, then many electrons detach themselves from their original atoms and move freely throughout the metal. As long as the metal has its normal number of electrons, it is electrically neutral. But like an individual atom, it can lose some of its electrons and become positively charged, or it can pick up more than its normal number of electrons to become negatively charged. The electrons always try to get from a negatively charged body to one that is positively charged in relation to it. And if they are brought together, the electrons will flow from one to the other until both objects are equally charged. The establishment of unbalanced charges in matter is, in all instances, the principle of the generation of electricity. To illustrate further this principle, let's analyze the chemical solution is added. Then some of the zinc atoms go into the solution, leaving a few of their electrons behind in the metal. The zinc becomes strongly negatively charged. Now a piece of electrically neutral copper is put in a chemical solution in another container. The copper will become very weakly negative. Since the copper has a smaller negative charge, it is positive with respect to the zinc. And if the two metals are connected, the electrons will surge from the zinc to the copper, and the charges will become equalized. This momentary current has little practical value. However, if we now connect the solutions, the charges in the solutions will become equalized, and the metals or terminals will be charged. We will then have an unbalanced condition of the electrons in the metals capable of producing a continuous flow of useful electric current. All of the work performed by electricity requires a flow of current. There are three related factors that affect the flow of electricity. They are pressure or voltage, current intensity, and resistance. First, let us consider pressure. With nature always trying to maintain an electrical balance, there is a tendency for any negatively charged object to throw off or repel its excess of electrons, and for a positively charged object to attract electrons. This urge to maintain an electrical balance is potential electric energy. And since this potential energy is a repelling and attracting urge caused by opposite charges, its force or pressure is equal to the difference in the charges. It is called the difference in potential or potential difference. The unit of pressure or potential difference is the volt. The voltage then is always the potential difference at the negative and positive terminals of the source of the electric energy. It represents the difference between the number of extra electrons at the two terminals. And when a suitable path is provided, the potential difference causes the electrons or current to flow from one terminal through the conductor to the other terminal. To explain how this works, let's review the action of the atoms and their electrons in a piece of metal where we saw swarms of electrons moving freely in all directions about the atoms. Substances in which this takes place are good conductors of electricity. If an outside electric pressure or voltage is applied to a conductor, the electrons will move predominantly in one direction. The effect is that electrons move from the negative to the positive terminal. This is the electric current. The unit of electric current is the ampere. 1 ampere represents, now hold on to your hat, 6,300,000,000,000,000,000 electrons passing any given point in 1 second. Current, or amperage, then is the number of electrons that pass a given point in a given time. And now the third factor, resistance. This factor is controlled by the nature of the material through which the electrons flow. Again, going back to the motion of electrons in a metal, we said that they moved freely about and among the atoms. However, even in the best of conductors, some of the electrons collide with the atoms, tending to retard the movement of the electrons. This is the cause of electric resistance. Collisions are more probable in some metals than in others. Therefore, different metals offer different degrees of resistance to the flow of electrons. For example, copper has low resistance. It permits the electrons to flow freely with few collisions and is therefore a good conductor. Iron offers more resistance than copper. Collisions with the atoms are more frequent. In some substances, no electrons are free to move around as in the metal. All of the electrons stay with their atoms so that no current can flow. These substances are the insulators: glass, porcelain, rubber, and many others. The collisions that the electrons have with the atoms set the atoms into more violent vibration. This makes the metal hotter. If there are enough of these collisions, the metal will radiate heat and light. Heat and light from electrical sources, then, can be obtained as the result of resistance in some metals. The unit of resistance is the ohm. Its value is best understood when its relation to the other factors is explained. A pressure of 1 volt produces a current of 1 ampere through a resistance of 1 ohm. Whatever the source or the magnitude of electric energy, these factors always have the same relation to each other. So, in order to supply our great demands for electric power, we must have facilities for generating great currents at sufficient pressures to overcome the resistance of the lines, as well as to do the work. Power for industry, transportation, and light, as well as for many other conveniences we use in our daily lives. Our only sources of current able to perform these amounts of work are the electromagnetic generators. In order to explain the manner in which electricity is produced by electromagnetic generators and used in most electrical machinery, let's have a look at magnets and magnetic fields. The Earth itself is a magnet. So are the tiny electrons. All of the electrons in any object are tiny magnets. When a predominant number of these tiny magnets point in one direction, we have an extremely small magnetized block called a magnetic domain. Magnetic material, that is, material capable of being magnetized, is made up of such domains, pointing in all directions. When these domains all point in the same direction, we have a magnet. In some materials, such as copper, the tiny magnets of the electrons never line up. These materials are non-magnetic, cannot be magnetized. Every magnet has a magnetic field. Magnets may be made in various shapes to provide convenient and strong fields. To understand how a magnetic field is useful in the generation or application of electricity, let's go back to the electron, Mr. Electron, and watch him move across the magnetic field. Will you do it again, Bud? Now notice, as he enters the magnetic field, he's deflected from his original course. His deflection depends upon his velocity. Now, as we have previously shown, conductors have many free electrons. And if a conductor is moved across a magnetic field, the mechanical action causes the electrons in the wire to be deflected, just as we saw Mr. Electron deflected. This, in effect, establishes a negative and a positive charge at the ends of the conductor. We now have two charge terminals capable of producing a continuous flow of electric current just as we had in the cell. This is accomplished in practice by providing a means of continuing the movement of a conductor within a magnetic field. In all electromagnetic generators, regardless of size, the same principle is used to generate electricity. The deflection of electrons in a conductor moving across a magnetic field. The same magnetic fields and forces are also used in making an electric current perform useful mechanical work. Remember that an electron moving across a magnetic field is deflected. If the electron were moving in a wire, as when electric current flows, the deflection of the electron would cause it to push against the wire, tending to move the wire. Billions upon billions of these tiny pushes combine to provide the force. The stronger the current, or the greater number of electrons, the greater the force moving the wire. These forces on current-carrying wires in magnetic fields furnish the power for all electric motors, from the simplest to the most complex, from the smallest to the largest electric motors. The principle is the same. The deflection of electrons flowing in current-carrying wires by magnetic fields. In fact, interaction between the magnet and the electrons is the basis of all electric devices. And now we may summarize that the billions and billions of atoms of which the universe is built are composed of positive and negative electric charges. That these charges are normally balanced in matter. That by unbalancing these charges, electric energy is made available. That the urge of nature to restore this balance creates electric pressure. And that the response to this urge, the action of the restoration of the balance, is a flow of electric current. The flow of electric current, then, is simply the movement of electrons away from objects that have acquired a negative charge to objects whose charge is relatively positive. It is this principle that has made possible the countless electric devices which contribute to the comfort and fulfillment of richer and happier living today. Devices which will expand that better living to unlimited horizons in the future. Devices whose operation is dependent upon nature's design for matter, demanding that matter itself shall always seek a state of neutral electrical balance.
All right, so we had some not so scary animation there. Hold on to your hats. Billions and billions. Yeah, I love that film. There's some great excursions in science films made by GE. I have a couple, but they're in black and white, but that one was in beautiful color. Now, at the beginning, you'll notice that there was that weird kind of splotchiness that would kind of go past, and then you would hear the... So that's water damage. Essentially what happened is water got onto the reel, into the film, and so that was the emulsion kind of all like the gel just kind of gooing up, and the sound is the soundtrack. Soundtrack is also emulsion, and so that's it was also messed up And so that's the sound you got. And you can tell it was, chances are, because I know this from firsthand experience with thanks to Hurricane Fran. You have a reel of film that's in a can. It's on a shelf, and if the water kind of comes up, it will seep into the can, and it will affect. It'll make its way up, and so you're kind of left with this periodic damage, and the water might creep up. So I lost a couple hundred films because of Hurricane Fran, and power went out, and some pumps stopped working, and there was 8 inches of water in the basement at the time, not at this archive, but at a house I lived at, and I was really depressed about it. But I got contacted by this filmmaker, Bill Morrison, who makes movies with decayed film, and he was working on a film called Decacia, and he was like, hey, I'm looking for some footage of some damaged film. He was mostly using 35mm nitrate that he got from, I believe, from Library of Congress and National Archives, but he did use some of my stuff. So it actually, he paid me to kind of go through my collection and find the films that were damaged, and I just basically put together reels of damaged film that I sent to him. I mean, he ultimately probably threw it away after he scanned it, but I didn't have to do it. And I felt good about, like, oh, the film's got damaged, but it still has a purpose in life. So that was pretty great. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in today. If you like what you saw, you can buy us coffee. We just got a dumpster at the archive, and we are going through and throwing out stuff. We're trying to hold on as many films as possible. There are films that are what we call vinegar bombs, where they're seized up and then we're just not going to be able to do anything with them. Those will go out the door. But there's also just a lot of random stuff over a period of time. You spend 20 years in a place, you start getting stuff. So that's what happened here. And we're coming up on, this is the 20th anniversary of me being in this particular space. I had not moved into the space until December, but it was being renovated, and I was moving films in here. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Please hit like. Please hit the thumbs up. Those are, I hate to say it, but those are things that really help get us out into the world. And I got to see a lot of names I haven't seen in a while, and also some new names. So thanks for tuning in today, and we'll be back again tomorrow, Thursday, 1 o'clock. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Please rewind, love each other, and we will see you soon.